Positive drilling believes that accurate, efficient work can only be realized in a safe, healthy working environment. We aim to comply with national and international legal regulations and obligations regarding occupational health and safety. We raise awareness by creating occupational health and safety responsibility by providing training for our employees. The aim of this video is to teach the use of occupational safety equipment in the most accurate and efficient way, and to increase the awareness of all of our personnel and visitors who will work in our drilling sites. While in the drilling site, in order to fulfill the requirements of the crew and individual protection, all our employees are provided with a safety helmet, ear protection, safety glasses, high visibility overalls, gloves, and steel-toed boots as personal protective equipment in compliance with international standards. In order to avoid risks against moving equipment, work clothes should not be baggy and loose. Long hair should always be tied. Prior to employment, all our employees will have a physical examination made by the workplace physician and follow-up if deemed necessary. All employees will need doctor approval forms filled in prior to entry of the drilling site. Commute to the drilling sites is made with 4x4 off-road vehicles. The vehicles have 5 seat belts that are to be fastened before the vehicle starts. These vehicles must comply with speed regulations of 50 kilometers per hour in the city and a maximum of 20 kilometers per hour in the working areas. For emergency use, vehicles must be parked facing outward in the direction of the evacuation route. Parked vehicles should be equipped with wedges to prevent uncontrolled movement. At the entrance of our drilling site, there is a general warning occupational safety signboard which can be easily seen by employees and visitors. If visitors lack their necessary personal protective equipment, the equipment should be obtained from the work safety cabinet prior to entering the site. The occupational safety cabinet contains personal protective equipment, a first aid kit, and a harness lanyard. The first aid kit must comply with the content declared by the Ministry of Health and should only be opened during an emergency. All equipment used from the first aid kit must be replaced to keep the kit complete. There should be at least 4 dry chemical powder fire extinguishers in the drilling site of 6 kilograms each. Fire extinguishers must be located away from combustible materials and in easily accessible places. Periodic inspections should be carried out by the site personnel. Mud sumps are a hazard at the drilling area. Pits should not exceed 1.5 meters in depth, and a membrane should be laid in order to prevent drilling mud from entering the soil. It should be enclosed with a barrier, leaving a safety interval of at least 1 meter. A caution signboard will be placed as a warning. A convenient field should be designated at the drilling site for employees to gather during an emergency, and an emergency assembly signboard should be placed. Smoking is prohibited during work. A smoking area should be designated to allow employees to smoke at appropriate times, and this area should be indicated with a sign. A fire extinguisher must be provided in the smoking area against any fire risk. There is a tent in the drilling area for the personnel needs. In the tent there is a food cabinet, OHS board, and a propane stove for cooking. The tent should always be securely anchored to the ground, and if a heating stove is used, the stove must be installed on a flat surface. The OHS panel in the tent should contain the telephone numbers to be called in case of emergency the drilling site plan, the material safety data sheets for the chemical and other equipment used. In these forms, general information about the material and precautions to be taken against any possible negativity and information about what to do in case of exposure are included. The materials in the drilling area, such as diesel, oil, and grease, are kept on sealed metal pans in the oil tent. For occupational safety reasons, heavy bags over 25 kilograms should not be lifted by one person. The load must be lifted with a correct position and grip. Absorbent pads and absorbent booms are used to prevent the oil and oil derivatives used in the drilling work from spilling into the soil and causing environmental pollution. These absorbent pads are disposed of by being sent to chemical waste facilities. Hand tools used in the construction site should be hung properly on the instrument panel located outside the tent in accordance with its purpose and ready for use. The defective hand tools are to be removed from the construction site and replaced. Tools can only be used for their intended purpose. The drilling machine must never be used except by the authorized operator. Controls and maintenance of the machines should be done periodically, and maintenance schedules should be kept at the construction site. There is an emergency stop button in the easily accessible parts of the machine and inside the tent. These buttons should be used without hesitation to stop the machine immediately in case of emergency. There is a protective cover on all rotating parts of our drill rig. The rotating part protected cage must be closed during drill operation. For maintenance and repair works, the rig is stopped. The sign indicating the maintenance is placed on the panel, and defective lockout/tagout procedure is applied. The water head must always be kept clean and oiled. In order to prevent locking during operation and winding of the water head hose, the bearings which provide free rotation movement in the water head should be cleaned and oiled after each drill rod run. Pressure hoses used in drilling operations should be used in a way to prevent tripping and falling, and should be located next to the mud pit. Awareness is created with a pressure hose warning signboard. Rod transport should be performed by 2 people. First, the transport path should be checked. If there are obstacles, they should be removed. The surface of the rods must be checked for burrs, and their cleanness must be assured. While lifting the rods off the ground, one picks it up by bending the knees, and the weight should never be supported by the waist. Coordinated work is required during lifting. While transporting the drilling core boxes, the path is determined, checked, and if there is an obstacle, it is removed. While carrying the drilling core boxes, the knees should be bent, back straight, and with gloves on both hands, the box should be lifted by holding both ends. Pipe wrenches should be properly placed at a 90-degree angle in the wrench apparatus located on our machine. It should be cleaned by wiping and oiling after each use. Wrenches with worn jaws should not be used, and the authority should be informed to replace with a new wrench. Overshot should be kept safely near the machine and should not be left on soil. After the inner tube connection, the locking mechanism must be activated and kept active until it is brought to the inner tube stand. Before use of the wireline winch, its connection with the drill should be checked lest it ruptures and causes an accident. Wireline should not be touched and avoided during use. In case of the slightest failure in the pulley and wireline winch, the authorities should be informed. Sufficient lighting is needed in the working area. Lamps are located on the drilling rig and as portable lights around the machine. At Positif Drilling, we believe that the road to success requires solid teamwork, and therefore our biggest capital is our employees. By keeping our standards high, our main goal is to create a working environment where our employees feel valuable and safe.